had a dream about the 3 days of darkness from the perspective of an unbeliever who had heard about it. Somebody had planted a seed. So even if you're not Christian, this could be an interesting story time. But please listen, because I think there's some value in this. And God keeps pressing on me that I have to make this video and I have to post it. I've tried 3 or 4 times already and I keep not doing it. So I had a dream about the 3 days of darkness, and what happened was I was in this dream and I wasn't myself. I was somebody younger, and I had this boyfriend, and it was like this situation, and the world was in a different condition than it is now, or at least the city I was in a very different condition. It looked like third world country, but it was an American city. It was like there was no commerce. There was no industry. It was like barter and trade, because there was no like regular store to go to. Everything was messed up. It looked like a picture of like Cuba and India crossed, like in the ghetto areas. So I was looking for this boyfriend. I couldn't find him. Somebody that drove a school bus, and he operated it like a city bus. You could barter with him, and he would drive you different areas in town. And the longer you waited, like the more people got on the bus, he would do it for less barter. So somehow we knew each other, and I was like, I can't find so-and-so. So he drove me around for free and said, let's look for him. And it was like my boyfriend had one of the few jobs. He would drive a box truck and deliver goods from like somebody that had product. Not like a business, but like somebody that had wealth and like had product and now used it. Anyways, so he drove me around these streets, and it was like animals in the streets, and it was crazy. And he was telling me like, yeah, these streets are always like this. Anyways, we couldn't find my boyfriend. He drops me off at this apartment complex. The apartment complex, it's like 2 buildings. So like one is like this, the other one's like this. You've seen these buildings. This one is downstairs, upstairs apartments. This is carports with the upstairs apartments. And it's an L-shaped driveway. So the driveway's like this, and it does the L, and this goes out to the street. So he dropped me off here, and I walked up and I went to that like first apartment with the upstairs, downstairs apartments. And the window had like a crack in it. I tried the door was locked. And it was a place I thought he might have gone to like look for goods or supplies or something. Anyways, he wasn't there. So I was like walking back down the driveway, and this black mist. Okay, it wasn't a mist. It wasn't a fog. It was like a fog, but it was tangible. It wasn't smoke. It wasn't wet. It was just this blackness that had mass. I don't know how else to describe it, but it was started to come from very high up in the sky down, but also from the horizon, like in at the same time. So it was like closing in 2 ways. And I was like, it started to make things dark, but there was still light where I was, even though the sun couldn't be seen. It was like very strange. And I thought, well, that's funny. It's just morning. Like the sun just came up. How can it be going back down? And out of this darkness that was 20, 30 feet above me, this thing came down like this. And it was this large, what looked like a worm or a parasite. It was big. It was like 3 feet maybe. And it had a face maybe the size of my face. And it was just eyes and a mouth with these crazy teeth. It didn't have a nose. And it was disgusting. It was wet. It was just, ugh. And it came and it went right like face to face with me. And I was like, whoa, 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 no. And I started to back up. And for whatever reason in the dream, I knew it actually couldn't touch me. I was still standing in the light. And I ran to that apartment that had the cracked window and the door was locked. And the window was like, this is the window, and the corner was like cracked. So I punched out the little cracked corner part, opened the door and unlocked it, went inside, closed the door real quick. Because there was a hole in the window, there was a board, and I put the board like in the window and closed the blinds. And I said to myself, I said, this is the 3 days of darkness in this dream. And in this dream, I was like in my mid-20s. And my boyfriend was also like mid-20s, maybe 30 max. And I remember feeling like we were the same age. So I survey my surroundings really quick. I can tell this is an older woman's apartment that is dead, that is not alive, that is unalived. And for who knows how long. They had passed away a long time ago. And I see knickknacks on the shelf and like the kitchen, the cabinets that had already been broken out. There was still an old fridge that wasn't working. Obviously no electricity. Most people didn't have electricity at this time. There was no phones. There was none of that. And there was the kitchen sink was still there, but like the cabinets around it had already been broken and taken for the wood. And there was stuff piled on the floor, like looked like salvage stuff. So I see directly across from the window I had just closed up, there's another window looking to what would be the back patio of that apartment. And it's open and there's blinds. I'm like, oh my God, I need to close that. There's like a sheet or something on the ground. I grab it and I try to put it up over that window and it's not staying. Well, when I moved that sheet, there was a bag of food. And this feeling like fell over me. I was like, oh my God, these are all my favorite things to eat. God prepared this for me. And I knew in that moment that my God, my Creator, that Jesus had prepared those things for me. And I became a believer in that moment. And the feeling I felt in that dream, becoming a believer, is indescribable. Indescribable. And it could only last for a second because it was so urgent. It was life and death. So I immediately started looking. I said, I need a hammer. I need nails. I need something. I look and there's a toolbox. There's not a hammer, but there was like a big wrench and there was nails and screws and stuff. I could use the wrench to hit. So I moved that. And then there's a bag with drinks. And I just had another wave wash over me like, oh my, He literally prepared everything for me. I'm going to be absolutely taken care of. And I go to nail the sheet up into the wall, and that's when I woke up. And, you know, for those of us that already know, He's prepared a way ahead of us. Like, in these times that are going to come up, that are going to be trying times, that are going to be scary times for some of us, we need to remember that our Father already prepared the way for us. Everything we need is going to be taken care of for us. We might not always know what it is we need, but He does, and it's already been prepared. So lean not on your own understanding, but trust in the wisdom of God. And for those of you that think Jesus is like a made-up thing, that don't understand how real and how very alive He is, like right now, He's very much real and very alive. If you're on the fence, just ask. Just be like, are you real? Can you please let me know if you're real? And He will let you know. Just ask. We are right on the precipice of the time, you guys. I just had to share this. I love you all so much. God loves you so, so, so much more. I'm really afraid to share this, but I'm just going to do it.